What's up, y'all? All right, this will be video 3 of our Cadillac Escalade build. We've got a lot done, and we've got a hell of a lot more to do. So let me flip the camera around, and I'll show you what we have done, and I'll show you what we're going to do in this video. Hang tight. Okay, where we left off last time is we built this panel here to hold our Sparked Innovations components. This is going to be for all the smaller 12-volt things we have running in, like the controller for the fans and for all the LED lights and such. We also have all of the cables ran back here to the back. We got our power and ground from under the hood. This is the 4-gauge that goes to there. We have our remote. We have our fiber optic cable that's going to go from the interface that's going to be behind the dash. And we have our 2 plugs for the fannies from Sparked Innovations. So all that is done. Panel's been modified. We added a light in here, which I don't have this powered up just yet, but what it'll do is it'll provide you some light in here in case you need to, you know, change fuses or something like that, or whatever happens. So just a little convenience thing that I thought I might add on there while we're in there doing it, you know. So moving on to the front, I'll show you where we're at on that. Just got to connect these two and put some wire looming on there. Our ground is going to go there, and our positive will go there. But everything else is back together. The new battery, terminals have all been done. Everything's modified and ready to go. New alternators in. All I need to do is hook up the external regulator for that plug right there, and we'll be done. That's about it. So we're gonna head over to the fabric shop and get some material to match that chocolate brown or whatever color that is. Well, we're going to start fabricating this deck here. That's going to hold all of our amps and our audio control components and the fans and ground distribution and our power fuse distribution, all that there. So off to the fabric store. All right, so we got everything ready to go. We're going to start cutting our bottom piece to go in here. Here we have our birch plywood. We already have everything measured off. 45 inches by, of course, 48 wide. We have a little section here I'm going to notch out to help alleviate pressure on those cables right there. So let's get that thing cut and we'll see how it fits. Okay, so we got our bottom board cut. I did some basic, math and configurations on here, trying to figure out how I want to lay these amps out where they will look the best. I'm pretty happy with how that looks right there. So the next thing is getting the sides built. So I figured out that they need to be about 5 inches tall to accommodate for all the layers that we're going to do. So what I did is I used a Craig jig to make these little holes in here where I can actually put a screw in. That way there's no screws showing anywhere. So I'll show you how you do that. You can get this at Home Depot or Lowe's or Amazon or a bunch of different places. This is a Craig jig. So what you do is you set it to the thickness of your board. In our case, it's 3/4. So you go on the side, you set the thickness at 3/4 there, and then you have to set your bit at 3/4. It comes with this special little bit. And you put the collar right up against there like that, and it should be at 3/4 of an inch. That way, when you drill, it's the right depth, and that way the screws won't come out on the back or something like that. So that's how you do that, in case you're wondering. All right, so we're gonna select the screw and get the sides put in so we can figure out exactly how big our layered acrylic pieces need to be. So hang tight. Okay, so where we left off last time, we had just put the side pieces in the Craig jig and made our little indentions there for our screws, our fasteners. We've got those kind of temporarily screwed in. All these other pieces have been fabricated. You have the back piece, the middle piece, and the front piece. Now the front and the rear piece are identical. And what we're gonna do is, you have 6 of these little teardrop shaped holes, 2 on each one. Those are gonna be for our air circulation. So the 2 over there closest to the back seat, the second row, we're gonna bring air in through those. Then our fanny is gonna pick the air up, push them through here, and then hopefully with any luck it'll exhaust out of these. Now we're gonna put on the back side, we're gonna put some of this honeycomb mesh on all 6 of them. Kind of give it a finished look. And just so you can't see through, we're gonna put a layer of some red grill cloth, just to kind of hide everything a little bit better and make it look more finished, kind of bring the exterior color into the to the build. Now this center portion here and up there is going to have a frosted piece of acrylic that's going to have the Cadillac emblem and then the script letters across on both of them there. So the only other thing I really need to do is I need to determine where exactly I want these wires to go through this middle divider. Once we get to that point, then we can drill those holes and start staining all of our pieces. After that, then we can build our top deck to put on here, and then I'm going to add a little angle to it here and at the front lip there, just to kind of make it look a little bit more finished. So this other section here, other than the obvious, holding our fans, it's going to have our power and ground distribution, and it's also going to have our audio controlled DM608. That way everything's kind of hidden and should look really, really nice. Kind of going for a minimal type look, you know, just keep it simple, stupid, you know what I mean? So once we get our deck on here, the enclosure is going to be centered into this section here, and I'm going to recess it down into the deck so that it has a nice stable place to sit, and then we're going to bolt it down so it doesn't move or bounce out of it or anything like that. And then once we get done with all of this stuff back here, we have to move up to the front. We have some work in the center console, some gauges and controls and light switches and stuff to operate all the stuff back here, the fans and all that. And then that center stack up there where the stereo and the CD player and the AC controls are, we have to remove all of that so that we can put our interface in there to get our signal for our amplifiers and our DM608. So hang tight with us, guys, and we will make some more progress. All right, what's up, guys? All right, so now we're going to start the install on our pack converter that we're going to use for this system, and this is what the actual module looks like. Not a whole hell of a lot to it. What this does is it gives us a way to interface with the factory stereo and providing us with our RCAs or a fiber optic toslink. It also gives us a remote amplifier turn on. So really it's pretty simple. It's one pre-made harness that comes with the module, and it just jumps in line with the factory harness. So let me show you how we do that. So first of all, you have to remove the factory CD player to get it out of the way. So it'll be 2 7mm bolts, one on each side. Get that done, it just pulls right out. You don't have to unplug it, just set it off out of the way. Now on the bulk of the center stack here, there are 6 7mm bolts, 3 on each side. Once you get those loose, then this thing just pulls right out of the way, just like that. Now there is a plug on this side that's for these buttons here. I removed that plug just to kind of give me a little bit more slack to pull this thing over out of the way like that. So there are 2 plugs that we need to jump in. You have this one here, which will be this white one right here, and then you have this other smaller one, which is going to be over in this corner over here. So let's do that. Now for the smaller one, you just plug the factory one into one side and then plug the other end of it in place of the factory one. Just like that. Now what we're left with is this plug here and our remote turn on for our amplifiers. And that just plugs straight into here. There is some programming that we're going to have to do with these dip switches here, and it's pretty simple. It basically is just, you know, like your chime, volume, and things like that. Not a big deal. But what we're going to do first is we're going to route this down. We want to go down below the drink holder here. So there is a nice spot right down there where this little module will fit nice. This sits right down inside there like that. And then we'll just run the harness up along this one here. And that's pretty much it. Then we just put it all back together in reverse order. So hang tight and we'll get this put back together. Okay, so we got our center stack all put back together. And one thing we had to change, originally I was going to put the little module down there, but for whatever reason the harness that they sent wasn't quite as long as the last one that I've done, so we had to do it a little different this time. So what I did was we put it right there. So we just ran the harness down the side. Here's our remote to the back. Our fiber optic cable. It's going to go to our DM608 from audio control. And now I can put the side of the console back on. But I think that's going to wrap up this video, guys. On the next video, we have more in the back there that we have to build yet. So we'll get to that. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, hit me up in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace!